We turn to another story involving masks, and it's a tragic one, a deadly dispute. Authorities are saying a man opened fire on a cashier in Georgia after an argument over wearing a mask.
Authorities say that this suspect briefly left the grocery store, and when he went back inside, he started shooting. In the end, a cashier was killed. The gunman and a deputy were hospitalized. All of this over a mask.
Now, witnesses say the man left, came back with a gun, and then shot the woman. An off-duty deputy who was working security at the store was also shot, but was saved by his bulletproof vest. He then shot the suspect, who's still alive.
During the pandemic, there was no shortage of friction between those who chose to follow the CDC and general public health guidelines and wear their masks, and those who didn't. Now, as we reopen and masking guidelines loosen across the country, harrowing stories like this indicate what might be a return to anything but normal. I'm Caroline Johnson. Thanks for watching. Just outside of Atlanta, a grocery store cashier was killed and 3 other people were injured in a shooting following a dispute over a face mask policy in the supermarket on Monday. DeKalb County Sheriff Melody Maddox said during a news conference that the female cashier was working at the Big Bear supermarket in Decatur when she was shot following a confrontation over the wearing of a mask. Now, Sheriff Maddox did not indicate which party was in favor of wearing masks and which wasn't, but given what we know about the risks grocery store workers have gone through this year and how they've been treated by the general public, it isn't hard to guess which individual requested the other to mask up. In related news, the Federal Aviation Administration has reported a staggering 3,000 cases of passenger misconduct this year, 2,300 of which are related to masking. That's 3/4 of those cases were individuals refusing to wear their masks for part of or the duration of their flight. For context, the FAA deals with about 100 to 150 reports of unruly behavior in any given year, so the jump to 2,300 regarding mask policy is staggering. Last month, the agency announced they are imposing penalties of $9,000 to $30,000 as part of their zero-tolerance policy for passenger misconduct. Hopefully, that will incentivize people to mask up and stay masked, but for those of us on the ground, there is little to no way of ensuring the continued safety of workers and those still vulnerable to COVID-19. In the shooting case at the grocery store in Decatur, an off-duty officer pulled his weapon and shot at the suspect, Victor Lee Tucker. He was wounded, but not before he struck back at the off-duty officer twice. Both are in critical condition and expected to survive. In the press conference, Sheriff Maddox notes the heroism of the off-duty officer, saying that members of the force are, quote, trained to intervene. This is what we do every day. And yet, a woman, an essential worker nonetheless, is dead. The impact is more heartbreaking considering she had made it to the tail end of a global pandemic, putting her health at risk, only to be killed by someone allegedly unwilling to wear his mask. Furthermore, the lack of strong statement from the sheriff in defense of Willis, and thus other essential workers' rights, to request masking does not bode well for these types of conflicts down the road. As Candida Moss, a professor of theology at the University of Birmingham, who also studies disability theory and is a kidney transplant recipient herself, asks in the New York Times, "How will I persuade others to continue to be careful? How many vulnerable people don't realize they aren't protected?" She goes on, "While I don't think everyone has an obligation to create accessible spaces for the immunocompromised in every occasion, I think they do have an obligation to communicate." As summer begins and the uptick in unruly behavior regarding masking continues nationwide, it's important that we continue to center the most vulnerable individuals and not forget the valuable public health lessons we've learned this past year, in perhaps a feeble attempt to lead by example. We are not out of the woods, and we need everyone to continue this trajectory upwards. Thanks so much for watching.